And this is Feces from Every Species!
Alright, can everybody hear us okay? Yes. Alright, welcome back everybody. I'm Christina, lion keeper here at Lion Country Safari.
And I'm Chelsea from Education.
And I'm Haley from Education, and this is our Feces of Many Species video,
where we're going to get the scoop on poop.
Now there's a lot of different words for poop, like
scat,
feces,
droppings,
dung,
doo-doo, and even number 2.
But it's always important to remember that we here are highly trained professionals, so we always wear gloves and wash our hands after handling poop. We never want to try this at home.
So let's go ahead and get started with our first video.
So here we have a rhino midden.
Mittens?
No, midden. Midden.
What's so special about that?
Well, a rhino can produce about 50 pounds of poop in one day, and that's just one rhino. And it actually kind of acts like an information center or social networking, kind of like Facebook. So when a rhino comes up to sniff that midden, they can tell which of their friends have recently checked in at that location, what have they been eating, and even their relationship status. What are you doing? Are you even listening?
Hold on. You won't believe the selfie that Baby Blossom posted of herself.
Oh my god.
Wait! Don't you want to see? It's cute! So we just learned about rhino poop.
So now we're going to go to Christina and learn about another animal's poop.
So how do lion keepers, me and my other coworkers, how do we distinguish between all the poops in their pens during the night? Like which poop belongs to which lion? Well, we actually use our handy dandy colorful glitter. It is non-toxic and it is safe for the lions. It goes right through their system and it does not harm them. So basically we assign all the colors to our lions, and so each individual lion has a certain color they're assigned to. So basically the next day after we put the glitter in their food, we go in and we take a little bag and we actually dig in the poop and look for the glitter, and we find, okay, well let's say blue. All right, this goes to Masalba, one of our younger lions, and basically we will dig in there, collect the fecal, write his name and ISIS number, you'll see that later, on the little bag, and we'll turn it in to the vet staff.
So where do the fecals go after the keepers collect them?
No, I don't know, but I feel like we're close.
I wish somebody would just give us a sign.
Oh, let's go find a map.
All right.
When vet techs run fecals, they're checking for parasites.
They put a precise amount of fecasol into a jar.
They then add about 1 gram of feces.
They stir it together and insert the liquid into a special microscope slide.
This slide has a grid on it that makes it easier to count up the number of parasite eggs.
When we get the total number of eggs, we multiply that number by 25.
We only treat the animal if that number is over 1,000.
Otherwise, we just continue to monitor them.
Alright, so we hope you enjoyed that first video segment as much as we enjoyed making it for you. If you have any questions at this point, go ahead and have your teacher type them in and we'll be happy to answer those for you as best we can.
Yes.
So,
also a disclaimer, please do not consume glitter. It is mainly for medical purposes only for our animals. So please don't try that at home. We're professionals here.
I have a question here. The first question that we got is, what is a midden? Can you explain that a little better?
That's a great question. Well, a midden is actually the area where rhinos go to the bathroom. It's their own little midden pile of poop. And so, like you heard in the video, midden pile can be a good source of information for other rhinos that go to visit that pile. We used Facebook as a way to kind of relate it to you guys, where you can see who's been in the area, what rhinos have used that midden pile, what they've been eating, and who's ready to have a relationship. So that's a great question.
We want to have another question here from a 4th grade at Pine Jog is, why doesn't the glitter damage the animals?
All right, so the glitter doesn't damage the animals because it's non-toxic. We make sure it's a very non-toxic glitter. It's not glitter glue either. There is that in craft stores. No, we do not use that. That's toxic. But it just passes right through their system, and it has no problem. We just put a little bit. We don't do a whole bunch, so it passes through very nicely. So it's safe.
Another question from a 5th grade class is, where do you dispose of the poop?
Well, that kind of depends. A lot of our host duck animals, they do tend to poop in the fields, and that is actually really good for the grass. It's like natural fertilizer. However, with the lion's poop, we do pick it up and we throw it away. It's not very good for grass. It doesn't decompose as well because it was already meat that was consumed, and it's not as good as the actual host duck poops. So.
Another wonderful question here from a 4th grade class at Pine Jog is, how much time does it take for the glitter to go through their system?
It's actually pretty quick. We'll put the glitter in, let's say today, and we'll find glitter in their fecal matter tomorrow. It's pretty quick. Sometimes it'll last up to 2 poops, and that's pretty much it. So it all passes through very quickly and very nicely.
Another question here is, what is a fecal?
What is a fecal? Well, fecal, when we collect it, is the actual feces that we then give to the vet staff so that they can run it and test it for anything, for example, like parasites. So it's really just that feces that we collect for those medical purposes.
A great question back to that glitter, that was a big hit here, is they would like to know, do the animals taste the glitter?
No, that's a great question. They actually do not taste the glitter. They don't even know. It's very small, like little pieces of glitter. It's not like big glitter or anything, so they can't like chew it or anything. It just goes right into their food. They don't even notice it. So that's a great question.
And then we have another question here from a 1st grade class at Cypress Trails. Do any of the animals like rhino poop?
Yes. Actually, we do use rhino poop for enrichment for the lions. They absolutely love the smell of the rhino poop. They actually put it in a big pile, and our male named Salvo, he absolutely loves it. He actually rolls onto the pile of poop, and he even licks it, and he rolls all around it, and he rubs his head in it. So yes, he actually likes it.
You're actually going to get to see that in one of the upcoming segments. All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and go to our next segment so you guys can get a chance to watch that.
Oh my goodness. Look at all these animals.
I know. How in the world do the keepers figure out which poop comes from which animal?
You know what? Let's find out.
We collect animal feces on a monthly basis, sometimes a weekly basis, in order to monitor the health of the animal. A lot of information can come from feces, whether an animal has parasites or diseases, and we need to check that regularly. Sometimes it can be difficult to tell which feces belongs to which species, especially in a multi-species exhibit. A lot of times you go with size. A bigger animal will obviously usually have a larger feces. But a lot of times, actually, when we're looking for an individual animal, we just follow that animal and we'll see that animal actually defecate. And that's how we know which feces comes from which species. We clean up rhino poop usually here at Lion Country on a weekly basis. We actually have, since we have such a large herd of 12 rhinos, we actually take a gigantic backhoe and we'll actually pick up what we call the minin piles. Some in other institutions, other zoos, some keepers actually do it by hand with a shovel and a wheelbarrow. And then other uses that we actually use for this feces, here at Lion Country, for example, we'll actually use that for enrichment for other animals. We'll collect some of it and actually give it to our lions. And lions are very sensory animals. They like to smell stuff and they communicate through smell. So that's one thing that they really find interesting is other species' feces.
Oh, hey. Do you know what time it is?
Oh yeah, it's time for
Guess That Poop.
So here we have some small droppings.
They appear to be long and bumpy in texture.
Let's take a look inside.
There appears to be no signs of vegetation inside.
Smells interesting though.
Yeah, okay. Do you know what animal made these?
Who are you talking to? You're being creepy. Stop.
Fantastico!
Okay, I think you're on the wrong channel. Let's take a look at who it was. Here we have soft scat that is larger in size.
If you open it, there is vegetation.
Who do you think it's from?
So here we have a small pile of droppings. And if I were to pick one up and break it open, I can see that inside there appears to be plant matter.
These droppings are round, small, solid, and smooth.
Whose droppings are these?
You know, this giraffe poop has given me a really good idea.
Indeed.
So today, we're going to do science. Yay! Science. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually be dropping goat and giraffe poop from up here to down there. Chelsea, that looks perfect. What? Said that's perfect.
I heard you. There's no reason to shout. I'm right here.
Okay. All right, so today we're going to drop those poops. We have roughly the same volume of goat and giraffe poop. They might weigh different. So we're going to drop them and find out what happens. What do you think is going to happen?
Both at the same time.
Giraffe poop.
The goat?
I guess it's giraffe.
Goat.
Giraffe poop.
The goat poop.
Goats.
I think the giraffe.
Oh, the goat poop. No question about it.
Good guess. Let's find out. So I've got goat. You have giraffe. Ready to count? One. Oh, safety gear. Safety first. All right. Ready? One. Wait, just to switch to my throwing hand. 1, 2, 3.
So our experiment wasn't perfect. We had a few problems, like based on human error, like trying to drop bags at the same time with 2 different people.
Yeah, you could kind of say that was a scat-tastrophe.
But what should have happened, regardless of the weights, is both bags should have hit the ground at the same time due to gravity, which is the force that causes all objects to fall to Earth at a speed of 9.8 meters per second squared. It's also the force that causes the Earth and the Moon to orbit each other.
Yeah, I don't really care. I kind of just wanted to drop poop from a height and see if it explodes.
Okay then. Alright guys, welcome back. We're ready for those questions, so send them on in.
We have a question that we didn't get to answer in the last segment. We have a class that wants to know, how many rhinos do we have here at Lion Country Safari?
Well, as David said, I believe we have 12.
And then we have another question here, is that which animals were guests in that poop?
Oh, the Guess That Poop, that was featuring our very own honey bear hedgehog. She was the first one.
Adorable.
That was her home. And the next one was zebras that we have out in the preserve, and also then giraffes.
Another question that we had from Loxahatchee Groves about that glitter, since that was such a huge hit, is how much glitter do you actually put in the lion food?
All right, very good question. We do not put a lot of glitter in their food. We have like little glitter capsules, as you saw in the video, and we just put a little bit, as you saw when I was putting the glitter into the meat. It was just a little bit, but enough so that we can be able to see it when it comes out in their feces. So not very much.
A great question is, why is the giraffe poop so small and the other animals' poop is so big?
That is an excellent question. We're not really sure, just how it happens. Makes cleanup a little bit easier for those keepers too.
Yes.
I'm sure they appreciate that.
Another question from Pine Jog here from a 4th grade class over there is, why did you drop the poop?
Why did we drop the feces? We dropped the feces to run that experiment to test the force of gravity because these 2 bags of feces had different weights to them. We wanted to demonstrate really the effect of gravity on things that weigh differently, but still, of course, keep it relevant to our topic.
Some of the greatest theories have come about just by asking a question. I wonder what would happen if.
We have a 3rd grade class at Spady that would like to know if there is a difference in size based on, with the poop based on the gender of the animal. It's a good question.
No difference really.
Yeah, like the giraffe poo is very small and that animal is very big. Rhinos, they have a very large density of mass of their poop that comes out, but they are also a very large animal. And yeah, it just kind of depends on their digestive tract and how everything settles and what they eat and what they consume as well. It makes a big difference whether it's plant-based or meat-based.
Or both.
Or both.
Since you just mentioned about what they eat, we have a Loxahatchee Groves that wants to know about how much food do the lions eat a day?
How much food a day? Well, all of our lions here at Lion Country are weight managed. So basically we have a variety of weights for a poundage of meat that we provide for each lion. So it depends on how big they are or how hefty they are. So they can get from 8 pounds to 4 pounds. It just depends, but they do eat every single day here, except for one day where we do a fasting day and we give them bones. So it's very important for their teeth health, and yeah, so it's all based on their weight.
And currently, how many lions do we have at the park?
We have 16 total lions. Our oldest is 19 years old. She's very old. And then our youngest is almost 2. In a couple of days, he'll be turning 2.
We have 1st grade at Feces Elementary. They want to know if rhinos like to swim.
Well, the kind of rhinos that we have here are southern white rhinos, and they are actually the only type of species of rhino that do not swim. And that's because they actually cannot lift their head up higher than their shoulders. They cannot lift their head up higher than their shoulders, as you heard. Even Cece's a little about that. But they can't lift their head up higher than that, so they won't be able to hold their breath under the water, and they're not very good at swimming.
And then another great question here from a 3rd grade class at Spady Elementary is, do all the lions eat the same type of meat that we have?
Oh, that is a great question. So actually we use 2 different types of meat. It's all beef. However, we have a ground beef that comes from a company, and that we feed all of our younger lions, so our 3-year-olds to our 2-year-olds. And then we have chunk beef, and it comes in 50-pound boxes, and we make sure we weight manage them and cut up their certain poundage of beef for each individual old pride lion. And so basically they have chunk beef and ground beef, but it's all beef.
And then we'll end with this last question here before we go to the next video, is Miss Campbell wants to know, does all the poop feel the same, or do they all have different textures?
I think they all have different textures. Again, a lot of it's going to go back to the composition of the fecal matter and what the diet is for that animal. We actually talked about the characteristics of those 3 different fecals that we examined and guessed that poop. They do have different shapes, different sizes, and even different textures as well. Mm-hmm. But I think we're going to get ready and go to our next video. It's going to be a blast.
The Lori exhibit, don't you?
Look at how friendly they are. They just love their nectar.
They love nectar.
I know, they're so cute.
And they're such characters. You never know what one's gonna do.
Nick, he's so cute. Oh my god. I've been hit. I've been hit, Chelsea. Oh god. Oh god, no, I'm dying. Why is it white? Ew.
Well, Haley, that's because it's uric acid.
Uric acid? It's burning.
Not that kind of acid. Well, Haley, since birds don't produce urine like we do, they have to secrete a milky white substance called uric acid that has a pH of about 5.6, which, though it's a little bit lower than normal, it's still not enough to burn you.
Man, Chelsea, you're so smart, I bet you're in the top of your class.
So, you gonna get up?
Poop. I'm gonna stay here.
ever think about how when a flamingo poops, it kind of like looks like a cannon, you know, like.
Crushed it. Oh.
All right, welcome back. If you do have any more questions, now's the time to ask them. We're happy to answer those for you.
Well, we have a great question here that we didn't get to answer at the last segment, is about the zebras. They want to know, do the zebras have different patterns on their bodies?
Yes, they do. Every single zebra will have a unique stripe pattern. So if you look at your fingerprints, every single person will have a different or unique fingerprint. Same thing goes for zebras and even giraffes. Everyone will have a different pattern.
Do the rhinos roll in their own poop? This is coming from Cypress Trails Elementary, a first grade class.
I don't think I've ever heard of them rolling in their own feces. They do roll in mud, not their feces. They roll in mud and then actually acts as a natural sunblock to help their skin protect that from the sun, and actually even as an insect repellent as well.
We have another question here. Did anything happen when the poop hit the ground?
Much to my disappointment, no. The bags actually stayed intact. So when they hit the ground, they just landed pretty much at the same time, but they stayed fully intact. But it was fun to check it out anyway.
Second graders, we have from an elementary school, want to know, do the giraffes play with other animals' poop? A lot of poop questions.
No.
Giraffes
No, they don't play with other poop. Great question.
Here's a fantastic question. How can you tell if the lion is sick?
Oh, that is a great question. Okay, so we actually keep a record of whether the poop that we collect every day is semi, diarrhea, or normal. It's very important to note that and make sure that all the lions are feeling good. Sometimes, like if you and I have a stomach ache, I mean, we can have diarrhea. Same thing with the lions. So we have to make sure that they're okay. But it's everyday thing. You never know what you're gonna get. So it's important that we note that. And yes, we have different consistencies of poop as well.
Ooh, I love this question that just came in. It's about cleaning, and I know that's a huge job of a zookeeper to do. They want to know, how do you get the poop out of their cages?
All right, well, cleaning is a very important task of the day. We do this every single day. We use a variety of products to make sure that everything is very nice and clean. But we basically scoop poop with a shovel, or we use our gloved hands if we need to. And we put it in the trash can, and then we go ahead, we scrub, we rinse, and we use chemicals just to make sure that there's no fecal matter left. It's very important that everything stays very, very clean. So yeah, we just go ahead and pick it up and clean.
We have a fourth grade class here from Cypress Trails, and they want to know, why do some of the animals move while they're pooping, while others will stay still?
Possibly could help them pass their poops. Maybe it'll help kind of move everything, I would imagine. But it depends. Lions actually stay very still when they poop. But some other hoof-suck animals, I do always see them walking around and they're defecating at the same time. So I guess it just depends on the animal, the way they're built maybe, and maybe helps makes things move out of their system.
How much do rhinos eat a day?
How How much do rhinos eat a day? Yeah, that I'm honestly not sure. They eat a lot. We give them a lot of options here as well. At Lion Country, we'll give them, you know, hay and different kinds. There's so many different kinds of hay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You can get, you know, alfalfa or what is in there, peanut hay.
Yep.
There's all kinds of hay.
Yeah.
We'll give them, you know, sweet feed and so many different
Grass.
options. Well, you can eat the grass.
I'm sure there's like a certain poundage of food they actually eat, but I'm honestly not too sure on how much exactly.
We have Waxahachie globes, which is pretty close to us. They want to know if the rhinos poop outside, how do you clean the area?
Well, for the rhinos, you might have seen the video, but if you missed it, we usually, remember, they poop in a midden, so it's pretty hard to miss.
Yep.
So you just go out in that section. Here at Lion Country, we do use large machinery, such as a backhoe, to actually help collect that, rather than sending a keeper out to do it by hand with a shovel and a wheelbarrow. So we can really just take that large machinery and scoop it up.
And also, a lot of it is left, so it decomposes. It's almost like just grass that comes out. I mean, it's very, very natural too. But we do both.
All right, we have a question here back to our zebras. They just want to know what the average lifespan of a zebra is.
Zebras, they're about 20 to 25 years. That's usually how long they'll live.
And do they tend to live longer when they're here at the zoo?
Oh, of course. They're getting the proper health care that they need. We're observing them all the time, and they don't have to worry about those predators that are out in the wild. So we keep a nice health check on all our animals here.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and questions. For our next one is, how do giraffes play? That's a fun question.
How do giraffes play?
Well, a lot of times the young males like to do, just like if you have a sibling, you might get into a little play fight with them. Sometimes giraffes like to play fight. They just swing their necks back and forth in a behavior called necking, where they stand shoulder to shoulder. And they're not doing any damage to each other, they're just playing.
It's actually really important for animals in the wild too to practice that when they're young, so when they grow up and they get into large animal society like the adult giraffes, they might have to fight for different things, adult lions. So they practice when they're young, so when they're adults, they're ready to defend themselves if they have to.
And the last question that we have is, do the flamingos eat from the lake or do you give them food?
It's actually a little bit of both. We give them their special diet in 2 towers that are in their exhibit, and then when they go in at night, they have another little pond in there that we go ahead and throw more food in for them, so they have it at night. But they are more than welcome to skim around in that little pond or the little lake over there and see if they find any goodies.
All right, ladies, well, thank you very much for all of the information. I hope you guys enjoyed our feces from every species. We'll be going to do more Adobe videos coming up, so be sure to keep checking back in with us. If anybody didn't get their questions answered today, you're more than welcome to email us at education@lioncountrySafari.com or at marketing@lioncountrySafari.com, and we will make sure that we answer all those questions that you're sending in. Now also too, if you see there's an attachment there in the Adobe room for coupons to come out for field trips. We're running a really great special for the schools, and that does include an educational program if one is available. So if you have any questions, we hope that you guys enjoyed today. Feel free to email us. We'll see you later.
Thanks for
Bye.
joining us.